Okay, I apologize for the horrible camera work on that last one. Unfortunately, I really am stuck with kind of one take here. So, sorry about that. Okay, so we have an empty pot, and we're going to add 1 cup of milk and 1 cup of chicken broth. You can keep the heat on medium. And then we're going to put in our carrots and our onions. And then I went ahead and pureed the broccoli because I remember last time I decided to go ahead and puree that too, and I liked the result better. So basically just the same thing I did with the onions. You stir those in your food processor. And I'll take you over here and show you what this is looking like here in just a second. Come on, camera. Come with me. Whee! Okay, so here we are inside the pot. Okay, so we want to blend that all together. Make it into kind of a amorphous blob. And then from here, you are going to add about 12 ounces of cheddar cheese. I like to use sharp cheddar, but it's up to how sharp you like your cheese. You can do it, if you've got blocks of cheese, you just cut it into cubes. It'll only take slightly longer to melt. At my local store, cheese is the exact same price, whether you get it in cubes or shredded, and since it melts faster, I usually buy the shreds. As I mentioned earlier, from this point on, you're going to want to kind of keep an eye on it because you don't want the heat to get so high that you curdle your cheese. But keep your heat on about medium, and slowly this will melt. And once it's all melted, we're going to add 1 can of Campbell's cream of onion soup. Now you can skip that step if you're a purist and you don't want to use any cream of soups. But the reason why we do that is because if you have any leftovers at all, if you keep them in the fridge, the oils will separate from the cheese. What the soup brings to the table is emulsifiers, and they cause the soup to keep from separating and stay basically the same texture that it is when you have it now, when you have it in the pot. So we have our cheese starting to melt. It's starting to look a bit more like soup and less like yuck, which is good. And so while it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and open this can of soup. And when I was first putting together this recipe, basically it's cobbled together off a couple of different online recipes that I found. I was having a problem with having leftovers and not knowing what to do with them because when I put them in the fridge, they would just turn into gross. And this was the suggestion, only they said cream of mushroom soup. But I found the cream of mushroom soup did not go with the flavor of the soup nearly as well as the, see if I can, well, that's sort of better, maybe not. Turn down the brightness a little, maybe. Good enough. So, now we are starting to get soup. We're going to talk about serving options. You can put it in just a regular bowl and serve it with a big hunk of bread, which is how I do it sometimes. Or, if your local store is like mine, and occasionally bread bowls go on sale, I like to do those when I can. Sometimes I like to make bread bowls, although the last 2 times my recipe has not turned out the way it did the first several times I made them. So until I figure out what's going wrong with that recipe, I'm not going to share it with you guys because I want it to turn out for you. So let me get in a little bit closer here and you can see what we're looking at. Ooh, sorry, didn't break your neck there. But this is the basic soup, and once I put it in the bread bowls, which is how I'm serving it today, I am actually going to sprinkle a little bit of cayenne pepper on top. You can do that with cayenne pepper, or if you like a little kick but not real spicy, you can do it with paprika. And then of course my youngest son doesn't like anything in his at all. So the soup pretty much at this point is ready. It's ready to be served. And so you can see it's simple. But I mean, when I serve this, people are like, oh wow, this is great, you have to give me the recipe. So I'm giving you the recipe. I will see you in a second to do bread bowls.